duck, and cover.
Hello and welcome to Surviving Classical Music. I'm Andrew Byrne.
And I'm Mara Winter.
So, what are we doing today? We've got a new setup. I thought we would experiment.
It's looking good.
Yeah, I think so.
It's looking really fancy.
I mean, it looks a little like, especially with my glasses on, I can see it in our monitor over here that my glasses are like taking this very epic dark shadow on my face.
It's like we're in a bunker.
It feels like it a little bit.
Yes,
to a
the
certain
bunker
extent.
chic.
Yes, exactly. So, what is your New Year's resolution?
What is my New Year's resolution? You told me you wanted to talk about this today, and then I had to think about what my resolution was.
Yeah.
I don't make them because typically I don't follow through on resolutions that well.
Yeah. Is there like one thing that you would do?
Yeah, it made me think about what kind of... Yeah, I guess in what directions might I already be going in that I want to really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
I do really like the new year, even though it's, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, like time is infinite and it goes on.
Yeah.
But for me, I like this refreshing feeling of, even if it's just symbolic, of just like starting over.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
I don't know. I find the hard thing for me is that even though we're like Happy New Year, we're trying to put a positive spin on the fact that it's like the darkest part of the year, like literally for the Northern Hemisphere anyway. And I had this. I was just seeing some people a week ago, and there was this. Like everybody was very negative, and typically, I mean, I'm quite cynical in general, but I sort of make it a dark humor, but they were quite cynical just in general, and sort of like, well, we're not even, even the trams are going to be disrupted, this sort of thing, and because everyone's going to be sick or quarantined or not or whatever, and I was like, I think we only think like this because number one, like naturally in a winter situation, we all get sick anyway, like if it wasn't, it's flu season in January in general, right? But also it's just the darkest time of year up here. And that just affects how you feel.
That's interesting.
And I think setting goals sort of like makes you think I'm going to make something good of this dark time. In a way.
Yeah, or you could also think of it as sort of moving towards the time when the light is back.
Yeah.
Like we have the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Symbolically, like, in non-Christian traditions, in pagan traditions, the winter solstice it's the darkest time of the year. It's the longest night.
Yeah.
And then after that, slowly each day there's more and more light coming back.
Yes. Yeah.
So maybe it's not necessarily about just being in this dark time, but also knowing that as we go ahead in the year, that slowly there's light returning.
Right.
And maybe this New Year's resolution, for me, I like to think of it as more like just continuing on something that has maybe started already or been going for a long time, but as a way to check in with some of those intentions, or ways that I would like to grow. Yeah. Also.
Yeah.
So I thought about that. I think for me, it's interesting to think about creating or like actively seeking out more connections outside of my usual sphere.
Yeah.
If I look back over the last year and think about the things that were like the most exciting to me or the most satisfying was when I tried something really new, and maybe made a new collaboration or a new connection, and and the feedback I received from those things was also the most excited.
Right.
I think,
Outside
and the
of
most
music,
positive.
we're talking, or in
No,
music.
also in music.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I would like to just continue on that and keep looking for connections and collaborations that kind of like bring me outside of what I'm comfortable with
Right.
or what I'm used to doing.
Yeah.
I thought also about the things I do outside of music that bring me a lot of happiness. Yeah, or generally just things that bring satisfaction regardless of whether they are profitable in the moment. I think for all of us through this pandemic, like that's been a big, what do you say? Like something that people have had to think about.
Yeah.
Especially musicians, because we've like really lost the ways that we're used to like making our living or whatever.
Yeah. I certainly feel that in the sense of like because performance is not 100% of what I do, and probably not a lot of what everybody does anymore, but my connections in the performing world are the same as they were 2 years ago. And I don't know what that was, but there we are.
Hello.
But in that way, I'm not out at the moment like seeking out more performance opportunities. But if I was, I don't know where I would start. You know, I'm not exactly sure who there is to know. You know, and because I'm just not out there as much as I used to be, and I would just run into people, you know, on the scene, and now I'm not so much on the scene as we all are, and just continue to run into the same people.
Yeah,
which is a funny situation.
Maybe.
But, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's also maybe worth just like not trying, you know, like not working too hard to find this thing that you feel like you should find.
Yeah,
you know?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I've really enjoyed in the past couple of months and that I'd like to continue doing even more is just watching the feeds of artists or like creative people from other disciplines, like non-musical disciplines, like writers and visual artists, for example, like just trying to understand their processes more. Because I think sometimes what they do like relates so much to what we do as musicians, and we don't really notice that a lot.
Right.
Like, I always thought that being a classical musician oftentimes like required so much alone time, so much like time spent with yourself working on your art, whatever that is.
Yeah.
And there's all of these other people out there who do another creative discipline who have a similar existence.
Yes.
And they have ways of organizing their time that are very interesting, I think. And organizing their thoughts and how they like create a new project, for example, I think could be useful for musicians to reference. For me, it's been very interesting.
Definitely what I find in the world of music, this alone time thing, that so much of that is sort of a technical issue, you know, like we're trying to be able to have the skills to do anything that we want to do when we have to call upon it, you know, when we're called upon to do it or whatever. And in any other discipline, maybe not dancing, but in any other discipline, it's about creating, and that alone time is about creativity. And not about regimented skill development.
I don't know if I would agree.
You don't think so?
I think even somebody who for example, somebody who paints watercolor, like there is a lot of skill involved in developing your style and your creative vision. Yeah. You can't just say like, I want it to look like this, and then like true. It's gonna look like a pile of
yeah. But I just don't see in the performance the sword of creativity in the alone time.
But shouldn't there be?
Yeah. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that we don't. I don't see my alone time as a creative thing. It's a technical skill development.
I wonder if there's a way to join the two.
Yeah.
I think there is.
Right.
And for me, what's interesting about looking at some, like I follow some writers and painters and things on Instagram and TikTok and stuff. And it's really interesting to see how they organize their working time.
Uh-huh.
And it's oftentimes sort of a mixture between technical development and then also sort of fleshing out a concept.
Right.
And trying things over and over again and mixing and matching and just searching.
Does it end up in those? I mean, obviously they end up in TikTok and Instagram photos, you know, obviously it ends up in that sense as a record. Yeah. But does it end up in a final object, created object, or
I guess it depends.
Thing? I don't know how to reference something which is a written word or a sculpted or painted art, you know, object, you know, whereas we don't have that. All we can do is produce a video or an audio file, you know, which is in the end the product. Even if we're trying to, you know, they can promote something using a TikTok or whatever, but then there is this real life thing which may exist, which could then either be sold or just be kept. And the Instagram photo or whatever is just a record of showing people that it exists. But for us, if we post something that's like the thing. Yeah.
Well, I think I think there's a lot more complexity there. Also for somebody who, for example, is a writer who maybe their end goal is to produce a book of poems or a story, a novel, something like this. Of course, what you show on social media, there's like the process that you're showing to promote it. But then also, like I see, even when it's a finished product, I see the extracts used on social media and things like this. I don't know. So there's like more of a gradient of the material that goes into these posts, I guess. Interesting.
Yeah, you remind me of something, but I want to fix this thing. This thing is like blinding my eyes out.
Oh no.
And we're back.
Hello.
Sorry, but like one thing that we never talked on this show, but it has existed in I think it's Working Musicians podcast. Dave Pedrick, he had us on, and we had him on 2 years ago now. And he did an episode probably a year ago. It's only 5 minutes long. It's like it's just an explanation really what it is. And it is NFTs, right?
Oh.
Non-fungible tokens.
Yes.
And which the music world has certainly our world has not at all explored this in any sense.
Yeah.
And it's really like the rich man's, like the rich Wall Street traders.
Yes. Oh, I
market.
Just saw a quote about NFTs. Who said this? That it's a bunch of hustlers looking for suckers.
Right. But you know, like Snoop, is it Snoop Dogg again? I don't know how he says his name anymore. But
wasn't there like a tiger involved?
Yeah. Snoop Lion, wasn't it?
Lion? Oh yeah.
But he's apparently made big money selling like songs which are only existent. You only can buy 5 copies or 1 copy or something.
Mila Kunis recently made a whole animated series. Very good.
Wow.
That's a good one.
Wow.
There's some content for you.
Yeah. I'm like, Mila Kunis.
Wowza.
All down my... Amazing. I'm good.
That's cool.
I don't know what's better.
I think that's better, right?
I think that's better, yeah. It's fine. You can hardly tell.
It's fine.
Sorry. Yeah.
Mila Kunis.
So for anyone listening, I just poured water all the way down my face, on my body when I was drinking.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyways, Mila Kunis, who we know from that 70s show, if you're old like us. Anyways, she is this actor, and she recently, like in the past I think 10 years or so, she got really into cryptocurrency. And,
Okay.
she designed an animated series that is only, it's like NFT. So you have to like,
Ooh.
I don't know enough about NFTs to like have the correct language for this, but I had like listened to a podcast with her talking about it.
Right.
And she made this series, and you have to like buy each episode, you know?
Yeah. And then
It's
but there's
very
only a
expensive.
certain amount of copies,
Like,
right?
yeah. And each episode you have to pay like thousands of dollars.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I think the idea is that whatever it is that you've produced, there are a limited number of copies, or maybe there's only one, and then that's it. You can only like there's actually a code also apparently, and this I don't know well enough at all about the coding of this, but even if someone sells their copy on, you, the original producer of the content, can also code it so that you get a percentage of the resale on the thing. So like it's like a videotape, you know, like the animated series has been videotaped and there are only 30 copies of each episode, but then not only do you get to sell the tape, but whenever someone else sells the tape, you could have set it so that you get a couple of percent off of that sale as well.
Wow.
So any future sales you could get, but from what I understand, you can only do this with cryptocurrency, right?
I would be willing to try this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know where I don't know enough. I just know that this thing happens.
Yeah. Is there a market for this?
I think there are
for like
of
early
websites.
music?
Oh, no.
But could there be?
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
But the audience, I mean, the thing is that you would create an entirely new audience, right?
Yeah.
Because it would be all like crypto tech people.
Well, anyways, we need to do that as a community, so.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Why not do it to try?
Okay, who can we rope into our scheme here?
Yeah, because I think it's not, I mean, I'm sure I didn't look at all into this ever, really. I looked at one website where they were selling like very weird, like 16-bit images, you know, or 8-bit images. You know, like the, like.
Yeah, from like Commodore computers and stuff. Okay.
And I was looking at that going like, the hell? You know, people would pay for this, you know? And in this case, you know, they were asking for like $30 for like a thumbnail.
Okay.
But of course, the people who have really cashed out on this that I know of, who made it in the news, are the original photographers or the subjects of memes, famous memes.
Yes.
It's like the Grumpy Cat. The Grumpy Cat is dead now, but the owner of the photo, the owner of the cat, they got rich off of. I'm pretty sure it's Grumpy Cat and not another cat. Not the one who's like, you know, at the table with the woman who's going, and the cat.
It's my favorite meme.
Yeah. But I've certainly seen stories of like someone makes a famous meme and then they sell it as an NFT later. Or there's that old guy with the coffee cup. He actually got rich just going around saying that he was the old guy with the coffee cup.
But how did he transform this into income?
I think he went on talk shows.
Oh.
And like they paid him to go on the talk show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this could be a New Year's resolution.
Could be. Why not
into
try?
NFTs.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
We live in Basel.
Yeah, because I just think, I mean, for me, this break, I took some time to make 2 YouTube videos. Ones which are of very far higher quality than in terms of the visual component compared to what I was doing when I had no idea what I was doing. I knew what I wanted to go in the video, but I didn't know how to produce it, you know. So like the white balance is off, or it's.
So you made 2, like from scratch, 2 YouTube videos over the holidays.
Yeah, they haven't been published yet.
Wow. Of yourself or of other people?
Of like me it's like, you know, sort of in what I have done on my YouTube channel, which is like sort of bassoon history or something like that. How to bassoon this. So it's not like a performance video. No.
Okay.
No. However, I did record with Elam and Carl some more, but this time with Baroque. So I did 2 of my own compositions and one.
Great.
Telemon piece. All, like we had 3 hours. I had 3 hours worth of money, so it was like, let's get as much as we can done. But they haven't. I think we just finished the second edit today, so it'll still be some time before they come.
Because you've been wanting to make more videos of yourself.
Yeah, it just costs a lot of money, right? And time, and I think it took a while for me to come back from last season, where I was doing very little playing. And I played a bit in the summer, and I actually did I played one piece in a performance on a live stream, and I just didn't realize how out of shape I was.
Oh my God, I know.
And then I played a recital in September and in October, and then by the end of October I was like, okay, I could do this if I have to, if I could record it. And then it was just a matter of scheduling. So.
It's true that we didn't play as much in the past years.
Yeah.
Like, that's something else I thought of today too, as a resolution to remember myself firstly as a musician. And as an artist, because we get so bogged down in administration, technology, social media, all of the behind the scenes stuff, then you run out of the time and energy to actually work on your instrument or your whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing.
I mean, fighting for 1 hour a day is
totally
an uphill battle.
Totally. Do you find it's difficult to do that since you practice at home?
That's a good question. I probably, yes, if I had a dedicated practice place. But I can come here, this studio, anytime.
Oh, okay.
And I don't, I'm not saying to practice, but I mean to do any work at all. And I wouldn't practice here, but it's one of those things. I think everybody knows this who listens to the podcast. Their instrument case is staring at them in the face, but they just never open it. And then maybe you have a stand for your instrument, and so you put it on the stand, but then it's staring at you from the stand.
Yeah. Well, especially I don't know. It makes me think about also fitness, where people they oftentimes use it almost as a form of punishment. Or
when you say fitness, you mean fitness on the instrument, or
actual... physical fitness.
Yeah.
I know that from doing yoga, is that a lot of yoga people, Western yoga people, even if they wouldn't admit it, their yoga practice is a form of punishment in a way, or a sort of masochistic practice.
Right.
And I think sometimes musicians do that to themselves also. Of punishing themselves when they practice, or practicing to punish themselves.
Right. Practicing instead of maybe enjoying and playing something.
Yeah. And saying I have to get this amount of time in today, or every day of the week I need to practice for 90 minutes or 3 hours or whatever it is. But you're actually not making any progress. Because you're not even in the moment. You're just filling the time.
I had a former teacher, or I have a former teacher, who I think he stopped playing bassoon for a while, for a year or two, years ago though. This was 2013, 14, around then. And he just never played. And he was conducting a lot, I think. That was his main employment at the time. And he then was invited to teach at this bassoon camp. And he explained to another bassoonist who was retired, I don't know if I'm going to play again, I don't need to. I'm not being hired to, and I don't feel like practicing. And the retired old wise man told him, don't practice, just pick a piece that you want to play and play it. And then a year after that, I went to visit my former teacher, and he said that saved his life in that sense, in the bassoon life, that he doesn't maybe play the bassoon very much, but he plays all the time because he plays something he enjoys all the time.
I think maybe there's something there's some worth to trying a different style also, or like another musical genre with the instrument.
Yeah.
The past 2 years I've been doing this. I've been taking lessons from the Indian music teacher in Basel, Ken Zuckerman. And so it's supposed to be within this umbrella of modal improvisation, because that's my big interest, just in life. And with him, we do like North Indian music, classical music, and we learn like a whole composition over several weeks by ear.
Right.
And I learn it singing, and also on the bansuri, which is like the Indian flute.
Right.
And it has, I mean, because I'm a medieval flute player, this is like you can really directly transfer some things, like with the technique and with the ornaments and the modality.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting to just like approach all of that through a completely different lens, almost. And also to be a beginner at something again.
Yeah.
In a way, at a style of like just not knowing anything.
Yes.
And I really have to practice.
Right.
You know, and practice with different skills, you know, like completely by ear.
Yeah.
Learning very technical things completely by ear.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I also have some students who are like pensioners.
Yeah.
And they're great. They're so inspiring because they're just like learning a new instrument at the age of 80 or older.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just maniacs, you know, like they just practice like 2 hours a day every day, and they're like so enthusiastic and open. And I think it's about being new at something.
Yeah. But also there's something to be said about having contact with people who are like, who are inspired by the things that got you on your path, right? And you're not necessarily inspired by it anymore.
Yeah, even little things like an ornament that the person has never experienced before, and they're like, wow, like that sounds so cool. And
yeah. That's really something that's refreshing sometimes, is meeting someone who's like, oh man, have you heard the CD? It's so good. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
it is, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it's been interesting to exchange also since we started the record label, the Discreet label, to have that dialogue between people from experimental music and then early music, and like also exchanging like albums that are inspiring, you know, like and like sharing something from Renaissance music or medieval music with somebody who's never heard that before. Yeah. And they're like, what is this crazy music? Like, I've never heard anything like this. And you're like, what? Whatever. But then like I am simultaneously freaking out about something really basic, like a Morton Feldman recording or something, and like, wow, or something that, like, for example, my wife Clara is just like, I was listening to that like ages ago, like whatever. But I'm just completely amazed. And this thing of exchanging, it's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. Just new people, new ways of seeing, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's a good goal. But at the moment, I think this is going back to like where we started, actually, like meeting new people. Yeah. That in itself is a lot harder. It is suddenly. Then, I mean, it was always hard because you didn't know where do I find these new people or whatever. And now it's like, how do I even meet people now? You know? Yes. It's a very strange situation. Yes. But I mean, I don't think the thing is that we have all learned to like the internet in a way that we never understood it before. And it's not to say that's the solution, but certainly that will be a component of meeting new people from now on. Yeah, and taking correspondence more seriously. Yeah. Which is hard in itself now with the way we use the internet. Yes. Like with all of the different messaging apps and everything. Yeah. Like I just lose messages. Yeah. Like I will find something that was sent to me like 6 weeks ago that I just didn't see. Yeah. I try and make everything on either Facebook or on my email, but like Carolyn, for example, it's like this constant conversation between Instagram or WhatsApp, you know? Yeah. It's like boom, boom. Yes, it's boom, true. Boom. Yeah. Me with Carolyn also. Yeah, I have certain friends who like we have a conversation that's like bouncing between different apps and like oh, what a mess.
It's funny.
But yeah, like taking correspondence more seriously.
Yeah.
We should get back into letter writing.
Yeah.
Did you ever write letters, like analog letters?
Actually write them?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Do it.
I certainly wrote like correspondence by email, but not...
It's so wonderful to get a letter in the post. It's so wonderful. Your dopamine levels will just like shoot up, which is something we all need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never thought about it. I'll think about it. I don't know who I would write, but...
I've seen people posting like on social media being like, who wants to be pen pals?
But you haven't seen my handwriting.
I don't care. Get a typewriter or print out the email.
Yeah. The text.
Make the font like Comic Sans and, and like blue.
Use the stock Microsoft Word's colors, like the blue, yellow, red.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Maybe put in some like Microsoft Word clip art.
Or you can make a collage from magazines.
Wow. That could be something.
Mm-hmm.
Although magazines are like, do we still have those in real life?
Yes.
Okay. Because I certainly only see online magazines now.
I've been ordering magazines recently.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
How expensive is that?
Well, it can be expensive, but I order like hipster magazines. I ordered one because we went to the States last month, and I ordered an issue of this like experimental music magazine, Sound American.
Okay.
And had it delivered to my dad's house, and then got it. It was like $15 plus shipping
for one.
Yeah, but so worth it.
Okay. It's just a lot. Like if you were to if you'd have like subscription to 5 different magazines, you're like, oh my god, I have to give up my internet.
Yeah, but you could subscribe to like 2 if they were like really nice ones, like this one that I ordered. I just loved, and it was a lot of material. And,
I have to say, I like in the 2016 election. Yeah, right. Yeah, I subscribed to 3 different magazines in the lead up to the election. So like when everybody was running, and it was definitely, I mean, it was all American stuff, and I'm not American, but it was interesting, the different things that were spoken about, and not just about the election, you know, in every magazine. And I thought it was the moment when I certainly had a lot more synapses firing at the same time, if you know what I mean. Yes. Like there was just more information, more things to think about, and that went away. You know, like I gave up the subscriptions after a certain amount of time because Trump won, you know. And I was like, I don't want to keep reading about how the world is terrible now that Trump is whatever. And I just never got back on track when it came to subscriptions. And now then everybody heard me like 2 weeks ago being like, I'm not reading the news anymore.
Yeah, but you can get things that aren't about the news.
True.
I don't know. I think the magazine as like a form is interesting. Also because it's not necessarily... Sometimes I get intimidated by the novel. Right. Because my attention span is that of a internet addicted millennial person who is like burned out on intellectual stuff. But the magazine, it's like you get short form. Yeah. And you get... things that are they just have a different energy to them a lot of the time, and it's a bit more discursive maybe that's kind of an interest I've had like as like my whole life, and definitely my adult life. Right. I've always been interested in like short form literature. I don't know, it's just a nice discursive method to like participate in, maybe, or even just passively support. I think we were thinking about starting a discrete magazine, some kind of publication. We've been talking about this for like 2 years, and it still hasn't come, but like it's something in our minds.
I always wondered if there'd be a chance to have like literally a 1-page Basel early music newspaper.
Yeah,
like,
I've also thought about that.
just like literally just.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I wanted to muse this with Elam Rotem, and he was like, "Are you kidding? There'd just be hate pieces going out."
Yeah, Basel is kind of a hateful place.
Yeah,
for-
and that's the thing. That's one thing that I really loved to be here because there was just so much going on, and at the moment there's not, but we're all still here. But the one thing I really don't like about this scene is that it can be so toxic.
Yes.
That people are like, oh, can you believe what they're doing? Or what, that person doesn't deserve to be playing in this or singing or whatever. And I'm sitting there like, I don't think I ever participated in it, but I was always there to listen to that.
Yeah, we've been in the same room
Yeah.
with this, and
it's
just really sad, and like.
But I think that would inevitably that would come up in something that may have nice goals of having a little newspaper sheet. You know, someone would make a offhand comment that wouldn't get caught by whoever's editing it, and then it would, could go out of control.
I think there is some space for conflict, though.
You think?
Well, it just exists.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Maybe also when something is published and written, there's more of a pressure to really think about things. Like when people have like a written dialogue.
Yeah.
And this is very historical too. Like, yeah, like written debates.
Yes.
I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
As also a document for our time of the ideas that were circulating and being fought over.
Makes me wonder though how that sort of thing, how much time and effort it would take, number one, but number two also who can print a single piece of newspaper. Do you know what I mean? Like literally just one large.
I think that it can be done.
It can be done.
It can be done. Yeah. Yeah. I saw one last year that was like, it wasn't a single piece of newspaper, but it was not many pages. Very big.
Yeah.
I don't even know the name of the size, but then they like folded it into 4. And it was such a cool experience to like open up the publication and like see these big, it was like a composer who does like also visual stuff.
Okay.
And then you could see like the whole thing.
Yeah. Interesting. Cool. So it was a art project.
Yeah, I think this person sort of regularly or like periodically releases something like this.
Right.
But it's on newsprint, so it has this like the tactile thing with newspaper where you feel like the ink is coming off on your fingers. But it was like also color photographs of the person's installations and things, and then some writing and scores and stuff, and the format was cool. Yeah. The large format thing was really impressive.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be interesting. I don't know. I think there would be a number of questions in my mind about something like that. Also in the production of it, like how often, how much does it actually cost? How many you have to print? How many people are actually interested in reading? Is there an online version? No. Yeah, no. That's the thing. It has to be like offline. Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah. It could be cool.
Yeah.
But I'm done with doing more volunteer activities.
Yeah.
For the moment.
I'm a bit overloaded myself.
Yeah.
But
so, I think that's one of the problems with this. I'm happy to do the podcast, but there are a number of things which I have volunteered to do. I'm glad I did them because I learned something out of doing it. But there are just more and more great ideas that people have, and it's like, we should do it, and I'm like, where's why? I only have so many hours to give away, and where's the benefit in the end of doing this project?
But you feel personally like you have to be involved in them?
No. Okay. But like when it's proposed to me, let's try doing this, and I'm like, we could try it, but what are we going to get out of it, even if we did it one time? And it just has to do with the amount of the amount of these. The problem is that everything we do online is a volunteer thing, really. To a certain extent, it does benefit us in other, like, how do you say? We asymmetrically gain sort of from it.
Ripples.
Somehow. Exactly.
Away, yeah.
But the act of producing that online thing is in itself a volunteer activity. And so if I'm asked, like, can we do this thing, I'm sort of like, it's a great idea, but I just don't see the cost benefit. My analysis doesn't tell me I will asymmetrically gain enough out of it, you know?
Yeah. Maybe that's part of your resolution this year, of like deciding really what's worth your time.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, it's just one of those things that has come up recently, because I've just done so much on the internet this last 2 years or a year and a half, that it's sort of sitting at me going, like, what do you simplify or condense?
Maybe it's time to sort of prune the tree a little bit,
because I had done one season ago, so basically starting in August 2020 until May 2021, I did a live stream for read making like almost every week. I did a lot. Maybe not at Christmas time, but you know what I mean. And then the more the live streaming for other people started, the less I live streamed by myself. And I had, at the peak, I would have like 25 or 30 people watching, which is a lot.
That's pretty good for a read making live stream.
Right?
That's wild.
It was a lot of people. And then I did it a couple more times, and I published the schedule in advance. I had like a semester schedule this year, and the end of 2021. And so you could see like weeks in advance when I would be on and what the subject would be. And I only got like 5 or 6 people by then. But of course, at the time, we were all playing again in the fall. And then I thought, like, yes, this is a good idea, but wouldn't it be more beneficial to me over time that this was in a YouTube format and not like, hello, it's live, and then I make a mistake or I say something, I'm like, no, wait, that's not right. Let me say it again. If you're watching live, you get everything, you see everything, you can ask questions, you can see the answer take place, as I work. But the live stream format is really long.
Yes.
It could take an hour to watch, to get all the information, whereas in a YouTube video it's in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And people often just skip straight to what they want to know and then leave.
So you're thinking of taking the live stream footage and editing it?
Doing some
or
stuff
just
again
from scratch?
Yeah, because the live stream footage is nice, but it's really compressed and it doesn't look the way I want it to look.
Yeah, I understand that.
So I think the longer lasting material would be via YouTube.
Yeah.
But I think that's much more beneficial, and it will just always be there.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not entirely sure that the Facebook live stream material will continue to be watched.
Yeah.
Later.
I wouldn't say so.
Yeah. But I think it was great at the time, and it totally asymmetrically got me a bunch of rep, and I did I was invited to do master classes, and I sold reads. That was the whole point of it, was for me to sell stuff.
Okay.
So it worked. It was like my way of advertising my business when I had no budget to buy advertisements or anything.
Cool.
But it's just a lot of dedicated time, and then you have to, let's say you're doing that, then you're working live streams, you're managing a podcast, you're doing what else was I doing? I was doing YouTube videos for the last half of 2020.
Yeah.
And it was just like burnout, it was just way too much content all the time,
So what are you leaving behind in 2021?
I think I'm leaving the live streams behind for sure. And I'm trying as best as possible to simplify this podcast in terms of the work load. Yeah. So, and that's why today it's only one camera, right? Because if it's 3 cameras, I have to watch everything again and then like cut to decide which camera goes when and so on. And if it's alternatively, what we could have is we have someone else here with the switcher, and they're just live switching the podcast. So that could happen in the future. But at the moment, I want to keep it as few people in the room as possible.
Yeah, for many reasons.
yeah, exactly. So I think that's the two simplest solutions right there.
Okay.
And I do, when I make a YouTube video, I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not like, oh, this is work and I have to do it. But I've just watched a couple of people who are like full-time YouTubers. And they, in the last 3 months, have all had this sort of confession episode where it's like, I can't do this anymore. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
And they're really well followed. One of them wasn't as well followed as I thought. She produces really, really good quality content, I felt. And certainly what she does is her studio and stuff looks really nice. But she's only got maybe 18,000 followers for camera gear, which is not a lot in the camera gear world, you know. And she was like, I can't. It's too much work, and I feel like I failed more than I succeeded. And I was like, wow, that's hard. You know, that's hard to watch. So,
who was it?
I'm gonna get the name wrong. It was like for its friends. It's like you got me now. It's like friendly filmmakers or something like that. I don't actually know her name, but because it's that channel that she's got this channel name. I'm not connected to the internet. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen when in the edit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in any case, so I mean, the episode, you could tell she cut it when she started to cry.
Oh,
you know?
No.
But what she was saying was that there are some people who are always writing me who are like, thanks very much, and she has some content. You should collaborate, not collaboration. What was the word? Correspondence.
Okay.
The word of the day. She was having very nice correspondence with some of her like follower type people, and that was, you know, very appreciated. She was saying that she really appreciated that, and that's exactly, you know, other people say that too, and the people who have these sort of confessional episodes, they all say actually it's the communication back which keeps me going, and that's exactly the same for me in this podcast. Is that when people write me, I'm like, okay, so someone is on the other side, you know?
Yeah. That's nice.
That
was nice to see with the crowdfunding too. You know.
How did it go? You finished just now.
Yeah, I didn't close it yet. Like we have a period where we can like keep collecting.
Yeah.
We made it to like 89% of our goal or something.
That's really good.
It was pretty good. I'm happy.
And you keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. It's not like we failed. It's you just got 89%.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good, I think. 89%.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to like, kind of observe people contributing and like.
Was it sort of pretty even, the amount of donation that people would give?
Yeah, usually it was just people ordering a CD.
Okay. Which is sort of what you wanted.
It was what I wanted. Almost nobody ordered a poster, which made me sad because I put a lot of time into that. But
did you print them as
well? Yeah,
so
everything. Because our landlords they have a graphic design business attached to our apartment.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you
with all of the fancy printing equipment, so I just like did it there with their equipment. And
so you printed it yourself?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I did everything myself.
Amazing.
Yeah, and they're really beautiful. So we're going to try and sell them at any concerts we have in the future. And I think when people see them in person, it's like a different effect.
Sure.
Same with the bags. Like we made these cool tote bags.
Which
I do have one for
Good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I have the money.
Yeah, but like there was one color, the green color, that almost, I think 2 people ordered it or something, which is sad because I think it's better.
Now 3.
3.
Now 3.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. It was cool. Yeah. It was interesting to see who was like there to support us and then like who wasn't.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's
I know that
That's the true feeling.
I know that Carolyn didn't order on the thing because she had to pay shipping for the green tote bag. So that's why I'm giving you the cash now.
No problem.
Yeah. Funny. It's strange that we just don't crowdfund enough to know what works or what doesn't, and who we expect to help us and who we don't.
Yeah, that was really in some ways surprising to me, the people who did donate and who donated large amounts, where I was like, what are you doing? Like, like colleagues.
Yeah.
Not even people sort of outside the sphere of our like musical bubble. Just colleagues who are like, here's 200 francs. Like, are you crazy? Like, yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to appreciate it. That's
very
nice.
Not
necessary, but
it was this thing, like the same when you get feedback on the podcast of like, really nice to see like how many people are interested in our work and appreciate it and want to consume it. Yeah. I think we need that.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's not just like throwing things out into this black hole.
Yeah. I'm glad that at least people are more. If that's the one thing that this podcast has done in 2 years is has made people aware that when we say something, only the friends see it, and the friends are aware that when they say something, it's only the people that they have seen who see what they do. You know, and at least first, maybe secondarily, it will break out. But the first 10 people you speak to on Facebook are also the first 10 people who see the thing that you just did. And I appreciate the people who are aware and then actually are active and do something about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's funny because it can be really hard for some just to like something, just to like push the button.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I think the people who are on Instagram, who are in our circle, are far better than the ones on Facebook. Because I find, especially with stuff that I post, like I post read stuff, only read stuff, only read porn. That's what I put on my profile. And you have like the Basel colleagues who are all liking it.
Aww.
And I'm like, that's nice, but
why?
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
I think it's just people wanting to be supportive of you,
Yeah.
What does like mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I support you, you know? Good job, keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. Whereas on Facebook, I can post a read thing and like nobody sees it. But that could be the Facebook. Yeah. But it could also be just the colleagues being like, yeah, whatever.
I know. I feel just really exasperated by Facebook and like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have weird feelings when I'm on Facebook and I don't like to use it. Like I almost never open it, honestly, because it's just...
It feels almost like a dead platform.
Yeah.
Almost. But we're all like, that's where the business card is. And that's where we have been on for so many years that we have so much material, which is just there, that we would have to somehow scrape it away, by saving every photo and that. But it feels dead from where I am. It feels dead.
Very dead.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to make the usual, but it does this thing because we all know.
Yeah.
It's not even worth talking about, really. It's just like...
Well, but I mean, it's even more dead because they have these rules. The EU has this tracking rule that came out. They pushed a law on Facebook that says that they can't keep data about age groups, certain age groups. They can't hold the data. And... so there's a bunch of, whenever you buy a Facebook ad now, it says
it says there may be problems with your post.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when I buy ads now, it's just like a waste. It's an obvious waste of money.
Totally.
It used to really work for this podcast before this, and now you put up the thing, and it's like even the people who saw it are less.
Yeah. Did you target any ads towards United States?
I have, but I mainly go for some where our listeners are based, which is mostly Europe and the UK.
Okay. For my group, since I'm from the US, I have a lot of followers in the States.
Right.
So often I do targeted ads there.
Mm-hmm. And it works.
It works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the problem.
I don't know.
We need more U.S. listeners so I can buy ads that target you.
Oh no.
Exactly. No. I don't see the point in me advertising anything for this podcast for sure. It's just a fun thing and you guys are so fun.
You guys are fun.
Good.
Nice.
I think we have more than enough material.
We got it.
We got this episode done.
Yep.
So okay. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to the podcast and hit the like button on YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. If you have any questions, feel free, or comments or subjects or whatever else you want to say to us, or shout or whatever, or say that Facebook is still live. You can send us an email, survivingclassicalmusic@gmail.com. You can also send me a message on Facebook via the Facebook page. Mara, thanks for joining me again.
Thank you.
Great. Nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
All right. Thanks for watching or listening, and have a nice week. Bye-bye.